Okay boys, in this video we are playing some 25-50 at the Aria in MJ's game. I played in this game last year. It was a big shot for me. If you haven't seen that video, here's how it went. I sit down and he showed up. I recognize him from a stream game. They call him Tiger. Tiger doesn't just play aggressive. He plays like he makes you want to quit poker. Raise, re-raise, re-re-raise. They're not stopping. It's pure chaos. Tiger's already won 2 hands in a row. One more, we all owe him that $300 penalty that drives so much action in this game. I look down at pocket twos. Tiger, he's opened to $1,200. He's making massive raises pre-flop, and he's not folding to re-raises. So I just call. With $45,000 in my stack, we go to a flop of king, queen, 2. Boom. We flop bottom set versus a maniac. I check, hoping he puts in a bet. He does. $4.5 thousand, nearly 2 times the size of the pot. Do I raise now or do I trap him? I decide to raise to $11,000. He doesn't even blink. He grabs a stack of 25k chips and pushes them in, putting me all in. I snap. We run it once and this is the run out. Turn, brick, river, 9. Before he even flips the cards over, I already know. He's gotten there. He shows Jack 10 offsuit for a straight draw on the flop and a rivered straight.
Wow.
You're good.
Shit, man.
Just like that, everything I won, gone in minutes. That pot, worth $90,000, if I'd won, would have had nearly $100,000 in my stack. And now, I have nothing. Not gonna lie, I felt awful. Sick, honestly. Hopefully today goes much better. Going to have all of my action again. Let's not lose a $90,000 pot this session, and let's go win some money. Good luck us. We start off the session with a PLO flippy flip. Basically everyone put in I think $1,000 and we all just get dealt PLO hands, and whoever has the best hand gets all the money in the middle. Yeah, I lost $1,000 because everyone does it. I could have won 9,000 or whatever, but whatever. Down technically $1,000 to start the session, but I was forced. I was really procrastinating making this video because one, I've talked about this before, but guys, making these videos, it's not super enjoyable to me because I feel like my thought process, I could talk about each hand for like 15 minutes straight. I try and simplify my thought processes, which is helpful for me, but because it teaches me things, honestly, making these videos is a good review. But also, one, it stresses me out reading comments when they're like, hey, you didn't mention this, maybe it's something I wanted to mention. Or 2, they're just like, you're dog shit, and I just feel self-conscious and don't like reading mean things about myself. And then 3, I walk this weird line between, I don't know, trying to create content, also trying to be a good poker player, also trying to be in New York in my 20s and enjoying myself, and also being heinously addicted to my phone and Instagram reels and all of these things. So basically what I'm trying to get at is I'm lazy, addicted to reels, and I don't like people judging me online. So yeah, these take a while for me to get out, but I do appreciate you watching. If you want to subscribe, it means the world. And if you're ever looking to get coaching from the coaching group I'm a part of, you can apply at T7 Poker. Just look it up on Google. And yeah, great coaching group. They have changed my life. Okay, on to the first real hand of poker here. We look down at ace king of hearts. I've been playing for a little bit, didn't really have many hands. Also, side note, in the game today, there's a bonus if you win with 9-4, offsuit and suited, I believe. Everyone pays you $50. So, some incentive to be playing the old 9-4. Anyway, that's a side note, just letting you guys know that side game is on. In this hand, we look down at ace king of hearts in the big blind. There's a blind raise under the gun to $150. This game doesn't allow straddles or limping. Folds to the low jack who calls the 150. I decided to put in the squeeze to 1.1k with ace king of hearts. It's around 7x squeeze size. The under the gun player, who was the initial blind raiser, now makes it 2.7k. The low jack gets out of the way. It's back on me. We both have around $10,000. With the 150 straddle on, we're effectively 70 big blinds deep. Yeah, don't really see any other option but shove here. Kind of just think he's probably full of shit a bunch anyway. If I had a good hand, I would likely trap, given my read that I think he's full of shit, but it's not like Ace King is the best hand to trap with, so I just go for it and go all in for $10,000, and he not folds. So he was full of shit, and we win. Pretty nice way to start the session. We win this pot without doing literally anything except saying the words all in. So hopefully the rest of the session goes like this. Forgot to say, we're also playing the bounty games. If you win 2 hands in a row, you get paid, I think, $50 from each player, and then if you win 3 in a row, the bounty doubles, and you get 100, 4 in a row, 200 from each player, etc., etc. So as you accumulate more buttons, your potential payout for winning this next hand increases. So you start playing wider and it gets crazy, and then you start going all in when you have like fucking 4 buttons because you're getting such a good price or whatever to jam. Like you're jamming for like basically 0 big blinds effectively. So anyway, makes the game play a little crazier. We look down at 8, 9 of hearts on the button, and the low jack opens to $150. He has 2 buttons, so I expect him to be doing this fairly wide. Folds to me on the button, and I have 9, 8 of hearts, and I decide to put in the 3-bet, just attacking what I perceive is going to be a wide range from the low jack. Our hand, in theory, can mix calls and 3-bets, and if I expect the opener to be wider than they should, in theory, well, I'm just going to 3-bet this one pure. I go for the 3-bet to $600, and the low jack calls. Going to a flop, which comes down queen 6-2 with 2 diamonds. Still, what I think is going to be a wide range, I am going to just be range betting. If I had a bluff catcher, I would probably just check it back because I think they're going to massively over bluff. But since I have like literal dog shit, I am going to c-bet because my hand benefits from making them fold their air and does not benefit from attempting to face probes or whatever on future streets. So I go for the c-bet of $600, and our opponent makes the call. Also, we started this hand around 10k effective, by the way. Turn is the kind of beautiful 8 of spades. Our opponent checks, and I think we have a pretty clear check back, just playing to bluff catch most rivers, or value bet ourselves if he checks again. So I check it back. The river is now the ace of spades. Our opponent checks, and if I had a bluff, I would be very happy to bluff on this river, just because 1, I'm just going to river a lot of ace-x, and 2, it's kind of like a perceived scare card and kind of hard to hero here with low pocket pairs type stuff. But when I have thin value, if I think it's a good bluffing spot, I'm much less inclined to go thin for value, because if I think it's a good bluffing spot, it's likely because I think they're going to fold a lot. I don't really want to value bet because I think they're going to fold a lot, and they're just going to call me with better, is kind of what I'm saying. So anyway, I check it back. He announces that he has a deuce. I say, no good, sir, and I show my 8. And we win this 2.5k pot. Let me know what you think. I think it's pretty standard, but I hope my thought process there is clear on every street what I was planning to do. In this next hand, there is another blind raise to 150. Folds to me in the cutoff, and I look down at ace king off, and I make it $425. Folds all the way to the blind raiser, who's under the gun, and he makes the call. The flop comes down queen 8-3 rainbow. Our opponent checks to me, and I think we just have a pretty clear, basically value bet here with ace high. I expect him to be extremely wide defending this blind raise. I feel like people have this weird thing where when they blind raise, they're like, well, I ain't folding to 1 raise because they're attacking my blind raise, and they kind of think it as like almost different than a straddle, even though it's like literally just a straddle. But anyway, I think we have a pretty clear value bet with our ace high here, so I bet $300 into 925, and our opponent makes the call. I think when he calls, 1 small bet, he's going to be extremely wide, have some worse ace high, small pocket pairs, gutters, king high with a backdoor flush draw, whatever. Going to a turn which rolls off the jack of spades, giving us a gut shot to the nuts. I think some people would check back here thinking they have just enough showdown, and yeah, you do definitely have some showdown value, but I think our hand actually makes a pretty good bet. When we bet ace king here, I expect him to fold hands like maybe some 8x, 4s, 5s, 6s, 7s, and also sometimes just calls us with worse, maybe a hand like king 10 or ace 10, so it's like we make him call worse and fold better sometimes. It's like pretty sweet hand to bet here. So I go for the turn barrel of 1.2k. And thankfully, he just folds. Didn't have to do anything demonic there on the river. And we scoop this 1.5k pot. Let me know if you're finding that turn barrel. I think it's pretty standard. Okay, in this next hand, we look down at queen 10 of spades under the gun. The player in the big blind, just telling you guys this has 2 buttons, so expect him to defend wider. Anyway, I open queen 10 of spades to $150, folds to the cutoff, who makes the call. The button also makes the call. The button is professional. Small blind folds, and the big blind comes along as well. Flop comes down ace, jack, 9, rainbow. We do not flop a backdoor flush draw, so there's no spade on the board. Checks to me, and if I had a really strong hand here, I would consider betting if I didn't think the two players after me were going to be putting in money frequently enough. But when I have a medium equity bluff and there's two competent guys behind me, I'm probably just going to be checking most of my range here. So I check, the cutoff checks, and now the button, who is a pro, bets $400 around 2/3 pot. The big blind folds and it's back on me. I mean, this guy's bet 2/3 pot on an ace high board into 3 other players. Expect him to have a pretty strong hand here. Yeah, just not super interested in bluff raising the spot. Maybe if I had a backdoor flush draw, I would consider it more. But anyway, if I had a backdoor flush draw, I would consider raising. But without one, I think our hand just mostly wants to play as a call. So I make the call and the cutoff folds. So we're going heads up to a turn, which rolls off the 5 of spades. I check, and the button now checks it back. A bit surprising, but it's also not hard for him to have all these just like random hands that want to stab the flop one time, like, I don't know, king 10, queen 10, 10 8, king queen, whatever. And he just decides he doesn't have enough equity to barrel the turn after I call a big bet on the flop. So he checks it back, going to river, which now rolls off the 7 of diamonds. And I think there's two kind of viable strategies here. One, you could play a big bet. I'll have plenty of hands that want to play a big bet, like ace king, ace queen, maybe even some like jack 9. I don't think I always like check raise the flop with it after he big bets multi-way. So these hands certainly want to use a bigger size. The other size you could use is like a block size with, for example, weaker ace-x, like, I don't know, ace-4 suited or something like that. I decide that in game against a pro, I'm just going to try and play a reasonable strategy. I feel like my hand fits well into the big bet category because kind of just matches the blockers of the hands I'm representing, like ace-queen, for example, and it also blocks some of his calling range, but it also blocks some of his folding range, so it doesn't matter all that much. But I decided to go for the big bet of 1.4K, basically repping the old ace-queen plus, probably good enough for this size. And our opponent thinks about it for a bit and makes the call. Also, turbo easy for me to overbluff this spot, by the way, because I just have so many gut shots and stuff on the flop. So, kind of sucks, because I think I'm just going to get bluff caught a lot, but whatever. He calls us with ace-10 offsuit, and he scoops this 4.2K pot. Nice answer. Nice big bet on the flop. You got my ass. Okay, in this next hand, we look down at ace-king of diamonds in the cutoff. We see an open from the low jack, who is a fella by the name of Jeremiah Williams. Online pro / live pro. Used to stream a lot during COVID. His streams were great to watch. I wish he still made them. But anyway, he opens to 150. I put in the 3-bet with ace-king of diamonds in the cutoff to $500. And now the button, who is an active young fella, nice dude from Austin, makes it 1.5K. After he makes it 1.5K, we have around 8.5K behind. Seems like a weird stack depth to be putting in not all in 5 bets. So I just go for the jam here, and he makes the call. So we're running it twice in this 18.2K pot. The first board comes out with an ace. I show my hand and he says, you got that one. The second board comes out all low cards and he says, you also got that one. So don't know what he had. Maybe some ace queen suited. Who knows? I don't know. He was a wild one. Whatever. We scoop this 18.2K pot. I'll fucking take it. Off to a decent start in this session. Okay, in this next hand, we look down at 9-4 of diamonds. Remember, we are playing that game where if you win with 9-4, you get that $50 bounty from everyone. We see an open from an earlier position player to $150. He's believe he's a recreational player, been slightly more passive, but don't really know anything about him. I put in the 3-bet with 9-4 to $500, and the original opener makes the call. So we're going to a flop with $1,075 in the middle, and it comes down 8-7-3 with 2 clubs. So we flop. Dust. He checks to me, and I decide to go for a c-bet here, $400. I'm just bluffing. When you think about it, there's a lot more money in the middle there for me than there is for him, so getting a super good price on this cheap little bluff. Anyway, he's not deterred. He makes the call. Whatever. He'll have some backdoor flush draw type hands, some gut shots, pocket pairs, you name it. He makes a call, go into a turn, not feeling great about our hand, but the turn is pretty good. It rolls off the ace of hearts. He checks, and I decide to go for a kind of cheeky small bet here of $600. My thinking is that I don't want to go so big where he starts folding the region of hands I can target on the river. Hands like 8x, 7x, flush draws, that kind of thing. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like this just keeps his range wide, and I'm planning on always tripling off my hand here. So just trying to keep his range wide. Do I really think this is good? I think it's okay. Anyway, he makes the call. Going to river, which now rolls off the 5 of spades. He checks, and we absolutely just have to mandatory bluff our hand. We literally lose 2 hands like Queen X of hearts or King X of clubs and shit like that. So never ever considering checking back. And yeah, I have 9 high. He checks, and I go for the triple barrel of 2K, basically just trying to get him to fold any pocket pair that called a turn, some 8X, 7X, whatever, and he does fold very quickly, so I think he just had a draw. We scoop this 3K pot, and we get that bounty from the other players. Nice to win this one. This hand was a bit sussy, but whatever. I think I played it fine. Okay, so we get moved to the other room in the aria. Basically, there's like this private back room. I think it's called Ivy's room or something there. It's pretty sick, but it's just like this glassed off room that private games run in. I've seen like the Keating's game used to run in there, I think. I don't know, there's some big games that run in there. It feels kind of cool when you get to play in there. Anyway, there's 2 tables, and they asked me if I wanted to go move to that table because they thought it could be cool for filming. So I moved to the other game, and we are playing some team game, which is basically team stand-up. Essentially, if someone on your team wins, you guys get a point. If someone on the other team wins, they get a point. Yeah, I can't remember what we were playing to, but it was like we were playing to like 11 points or something with some kind of penalty. I'm not gonna try and explain all the rules to this side game because it's kind of confusing. Just know that it creates some kind of wild action. You try and win hands, whatever. It's like kind of like stand-up on steroids, I guess. Anyway, we're playing 25-50 still. We're around 10K effective with the main villain in this hand, who is a recreational fellow who I've never played with before. Yeah, was playing fairly passively. Anyway, he opens under the gun $200, +1 calls, the low jack calls, the hijack calls, and I call in the cutoff with 7-8 of spades. And the big blind also calls. So we are going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 ways to the flop with 1.2K in the middle. And it comes down King, Jack, 8. Rainbow. Checks all the way to me, and I decide to go for a bet here of $500. I'm bluffing. Well, basically my thinking is I have bottom pair. I can make them fold better hands. The player who opened didn't bet. I think sometimes recreational players don't like range check spots, so they'll just like bet if they have a good hand. And then also I expect the hijack and low jack to have bet fairly frequently if they had a strong hand too. So anyway, basically I think I can make people fold, and even if they call, I still have equity when I'm behind. Can make 2 pair, make them fold on the turn, whatever. Folds all the way back to the original opener who makes the call, and everyone else gets out of the way, so we're going heads up. Turn rolls off the 5 of hearts, bringing in a backdoor flush draw. Opponent checks, and yeah, I'm gonna stick to my plan and just barrel the turn and then check back the river if I don't improve, because I'm just not trying to make a guy I don't know full top pair for an amount of money that might not be a lot for him. We started with 10K, and I'm gonna have like 7K left on the river. Who knows what 7K is to him. So anyway, I go for the turn barrel of 2K, a little less than pot, and he makes the call, and I'm really not liking this now because I've just lost $3,000 essentially. But the river now rolls off the 8 of hearts, bringing in the backdoor flush, but giving us trips. I have 7.3K left. There's 6.2K in the middle. I think it's pretty clear what we have to do here. If he just has a backdoored flush, it's whatever. Actually, no, I'm just kidding because I'm a massive pussy in game. I bet $5,000 because I was like, I don't want him to fold a king if I go all in. I think he'll call me for 5K instead of 7.3. So bad, man. Like in this spot, if they have a better hand, you just die. And especially with the thinking that, like, I wouldn't try and make him fold a king or ace king or, like, aces if he has aces or something. If I have a hand that beats those hands, I should just go all in. And also, when I bet 5K, leave myself 2.3K behind, like, am I really folding if he jams? Like, I probably should, but I'm going to be so fucking tilted when he jams, I'm just going to call it off anyway. So I should just go all in. But I play so bad sometimes. Like, this is so bad. Like, I literally just, like, lost. I'm watching this hand, and it's, like, losing 2.3K in hindsight, if that makes sense. So, anyway, I bet 5K, and, you know, but since I'm spieling so much, you get it. He makes the call pretty quickly, and he shows ace-king, and we make them in. Got lucky on the river and make them in. Like, so tilting, guys. If you, like, make whatever, like, the effective nuts is, just, like, go all in, and then just, like, hope they call, and don't, like, psyop yourself into thinking they would have called if I bet 2K less. Anyway, I'm bitching, but we won a 16.2k pot. I'm glad to win the pot, but did not play it well. Okay, this next hand's a bit of a funny one. I look down at Queen 10 of diamonds in the low jack. We're around 20k effective with the main opponent in this hand. I opened to $150. The hijack folds, and now the cutoff, who I don't know if he's a pro. He played reggie. I'm not sure. There's a lot of these guys in private games in Vegas where you're like, you don't really know what their deal is. I don't know. Probably a pro. Anyway. He makes it $600 to go, 4x 3-bet size, folds back to me, and, you know, our hand's extremely close. If I was feeling tighter / nittier on the day, you know, I'm up a bit, don't really mind locking it up, don't really want to go heads up with a pro in a 3-bet pot out of position. Infinite big blinds deep with Queen 10 suited. It's not like the best hand in the world, but the fella on my left, who is a splashier player, asked me if he can sweat my hand, and I'd said yes before I go on 3-bet. And, you know, if you ever want to get invited to a game ever again, probably shouldn't show yourself holding Queen 10 suited to a 3-bet. So I make the call and it gets expensive. Going heads up to a flop and it comes down Queen 8-4, 2 clubs and 1 diamond. So we flop top pair of the backdoor flush draw. I check and our opponent bets $400. Feeling pretty good about our hand. Very easy. Just call. No point ever raising this hand at this stacked up. Just do not want to play a massive pot with Queen middle kicker. I call, go into a turn which rolls off the deuce of spades. I check and our opponent now pots it for 2k. Honestly, I think he probably wants to be playing overbets when we're this deep, but 2k seems fine. Basically saying he has king queen plus. King queen's even getting close probably, but probably king queen plus is okay. Hand might be indifferent on the turn already, given we basically have a bluff catcher and we block some bluffs like jack 10, 9, 10, but honestly I think his main bluff should probably just come from ace king himself. Or clubs, so it's not the worst thing in the world. But, you know, this guy swept my hand, man. I ain't folding to a double barrel with top pair, you kidding me? So I make the call. Going to a river, which now rolls off the 4 of hearts with 6k in the middle. I check, and now our opponent goes for the small overbet of 7.5k. I think he's saying he has ace queen plus at this point. The 4 on the river kind of blows because if he was bluffing with 9-4, he now has trips. Yeah, and in these spots, you kind of just got to go with your gut. And my gut was just telling me you should probably fold. I literally just went with my gut. When your hand's like basically indifferent or feels very indifferent, you just got to weigh some data points. I don't necessarily want to say what all my data points are in these kind of spots that I'm weighing because that's probably just giving up a little more than I want to. But yeah, I just decided to fold. Don't know what he had, but I'm okay with my fold. We lose this $6,000 pot. Why? But whatever, it's fine. Okay, in this last hand, I think this is a kind of fun example of, I don't know, just paying attention to some side game dynamics and making adjustments. We're around 20k effective this hand, and Mr. Masato, who is a very popular Asian YouTuber, I think like mostly in the Japanese community. I seriously apologize if he's not actually Japanese. That is not me trying to be racist. I'm just like pretty sure he's Japanese, but I'm not 100% sure. The under the gun 1 player opens to 150, and now Masato calls in the low jack. The hijack folds and the cutoff, who again I think is a pro, but I don't know. He could just be one of these fellows who plays a lot in Vegas and plays kind of reggie. Bumps it up to $1,000. Masato had 4 buttons this hand, meaning that he would get paid out. I don't know. I can't do math. I think $200 a player or like $400 a player or something. But anyway, expect him to be basically just full range calling this 150. So yeah, just expect him to have like literally like 9-3 off here because his price is just amazing when you think about the bounty money in the middle. So the cutoff, I'm sure, also realizes that. And I look down at 9-4 of hearts in the small blind. And basically my thinking is, right, I'm pretty sure cutoff is aware that Masato is going to be super wide here. UTG1, going to have a standard UTG1 opening range. Seems like a good spot for a cold 4-bet bluff, because we also have our bounty money in the middle too from the winning with 9-4 if we do get this through. So anyway, I decided to go for the 4-bet bluff to $3,000, and now the cutoff goes into the tank. Really hoping he folds because we could play a massive pot here given we're both 20k effective, but he eventually lays it down. We get this one through and scoop this nice little pot. Just think it's important to be paying attention to what players' ranges are. If other players are aware of potentially wide ranges, they might be attacking wider, therefore you can attack wider, yada yada. Anyway, had a great session that day, ended up making $11,970, so around 12K. Can't complain, it was a great session. Kind of everything went smoothly, to be honest, for the most part. And those are the sessions that are the nicest. Really appreciate you guys watching. I'm not gonna lie, boys, just a little sneak peek. We've been on the Giga Heat online and live. It's been a good year. Looking forward to making some more videos and bringing you guys along the journey. As usual, any feedback in the comment is appreciated. Don't get mad if I get snarky if you're snarky with me. I'm a sensitive guy. I got an ego. Yeah, so anyway, appreciate everything. Results on the screen. And I'll see you in the next video. Peace, boys.